The J6 tapes are getting released today, or later today. You have a president that is trying to be taken off the ballot in Colorado. You have a border that's entirely out of control, and people by the thousands coming into this country every single day. And you have a government that's doing not a damn thing about it. I think it's time you get involved where you live, don't you think? Let's talk about this. Stay tuned. Howdy folks, Dave Man here, Rollman Revolution. Now, let me fix this camera real quick here. Like I said at the top of this, we need thinking people in America. We need people to really start looking at the landscape for what it is. Not what we want it to be, not what we hope for it to be, but for the way it truly is. And what I mean by that is, look, I know how Trump comes off to some people because I poll people on the beach. I get into conversations with a lot of the people that come down to Florida on vacation and are here just trying to relax, and I get a vibe that a lot of the things that people don't like about Trump is the way that he talks or the way that he approaches things. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is like, look, have you ever worked for a company in which you had a boss that was just a total dick or a total asshole, but results were the number one priority because that's their job role? Their job is not to be your friend. The job of the President of the United States is to be friendly. Yes, you don't want him going around making all these different slurs and all that other stuff, but again, you have to take into consideration the source for which these people are making the claims, okay? You can't keep going around saying, oh, Trump is this and Trump is that, based on what proof, what evidence? Because the guy on CNN said so, the experts, all of those paid for experts say so. That's the reason why we must believe that what they have to say and what their opinion about the whole situation matters before anything else. You're a thinking person, America. You, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter which party or which box you like to include yourself into, you are a thinking person. Or at least if you want to have a better life, you must think about the things that are actually happening in front of you. Reality is the only truth when we're dealing with this in politics. You got to understand the game that they play. They try to show you a whole bunch of shiny toys, a distraction over here, a distraction over there. The whole idea is to get you so bamboozled, or whatever the proper term is, to get you all so messed up to the point where you don't know what's up, down, left, or right. That's why you have to take a step back, enter the classroom of silence for just a few moments, and look at the game at play. It's not by accident all of these things happen in a 3-year period. Just look at what has happened in a 3-year time span. What did Joe Biden do once he got into office? He undid everything that Trump did when he went into office. Now look at the situations that we're dealing with right now. We have wars in 2 different countries, an economic system that is completely collapsing, and a government that is allowing people to come across the southern border at record rates and then scattering them all over the country on the American people's dime. And you don't see this as a potential problem, a national security threat? I'm just saying we need to stop and to really start thinking about things in terms that, look, if you were running this operation and you were running this situation, wouldn't you think that there's something odd about what's going on here? Would you not see that the federal government all of a sudden is going to try to charge Trump with 90 counts, put him into jail for 700 years on a baseless situation that involves January 6th, an insurrection, which the J6 tapes are coming out this week or within the next couple days, I do believe. So when you take that into consideration and we start looking at them for the way that they truly are, which I said back in February of 2021 when it first came out, that the insurrection would in fact come out to be the Fedsurrection. And there was a guy, which I will put a link to the video, which if you haven't seen it yet in regards to the January 6th situation, this gentleman I want to say it was around February or March of that year, produced a video showing you the breakdown of the available amateur footage of J6, and he broke it down bit by bit, showing you how the speaker's lobby and everything was staged, and how the federal government was trying to play games with the American people to try to cause you to feel connected to that event, and that event had something to do with MAGA, and that MAGA was the problem. Do you see how the game is played here? But what we're going to discover over the next few days when these tapes are released, that it wasn't an insurrection at all. And if it wasn't an insurrection, then what the hell is Trump doing in a courtroom having to defend himself for X amount of years and going to prison over something that's horseshit? You see the lawfare that's taking place. You see the game at play. But I don't understand why there are people still supporting this regime. I mean, are you not looking at the same data that I am? I mean, I'm not here to argue with people. I'm here to try to create clarity in a world that is filled with bullshit. You have to look at things yourself. It's important to see what you see. It's important for you to know and equip yourself with the truth. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on anybody to give you that information. And if you are doing that, then that means you have absolutely no firsthand knowledge of anything. You haven't done the research, so you really don't know. You're relying on another person to give you your opinion. We have to wake up, my friends. It's so important now to be a participant in the game and not a spectator. This world has turned itself upside down in a very, very short period of time, and it's not by accident. All of these things have been planned and calculated perfectly in order to do what they are doing at that southern border right now, where you're allowing people to come in at record rates. You have to have a system in place on how to disperse these people properly, to how to get them the things that they need to get the funding to these operations, NGOs, NPOs, and all these other organizations that are working to allow this mass migration of people into the United States. A country is defined by its language, its borders, and its culture. And what has this administration done at a record rate? Destroy all three of those. This is not my opinion. This is the reality that we're living in. And I don't care what you believe about how the world should be. You have to look at the world for the way it truly is if you plan on doing anything about it. We can't sit here and pussyfoot about stuff that, oh, the abortion issue is up. And look, we ain't going to be talking about abortion. We ain't going to be talking about any civil rights at all very, very soon if this shit continues to go on. And you allow the Democrat Party, the establishment Republicans, and all of these NGOs, NPOs, and special interests to keep running the country into the ground. The deep state it's the fourth branch of government that's been locked around DC forever. Majority of the people that are representing you work for another entity. They don't work for you. That is the reason why nothing ever gets done. That's the reason why all your money is pissed away. That's the reason why Donald Trump is sitting in a freaking courtroom right now, battling for his life, using up all of his wealth, his resources, his time and energy to fight nonsense. This is election interference because this is election interference at its highest magnitude. And then you have judges that have been positioned by the Soros people, and of course, obviously, these other liberal governors and of course, Joe Biden. And of course, Trump is not getting a fair trial. And that's all anybody's ever really fighting for. If you're a defendant on the books to potentially go to jail for some ridiculous amount, 90 counts, 700 years, on all of these federal felonies, and they want to do a speedy trial. They want to do all this stuff in like August of next year, when it takes years to just pull off misdemeanor charges sometimes on these cases and at this level. But yet, they want to speed this through. They want to charge Trump with election interference and insurrection and rape charges and IRS charges, and it's ridiculous. They literally are looking for crimes. It's like going into your history and basically trying to dissect everything that you ever did, said, or are going to do, they think, and then frame a crime around the decisions that you make. Use bonehead lawyers, bonehead legal system, and lawfare to just tie all this nonsense up. And then, if you can get enough of the right people to do your dirty work, well then guess what? You end up putting a person who's innocent in prison. And that's exactly what they are doing. Make no mistake about it. Your country is fighting for its life right now. And the antidote to this chaos is you. You are the only person that has the ability to make this change. And if you don't, there's a good chance your country, when you wake up tomorrow or the next day, or even possibly the next day, may not be recognizable anymore. I don't want to be one of those people who wake up and said, I could have done something at the time and I did nothing. Are you okay with making that decision? Are you okay sitting on the sidelines a little while longer, just waiting for the next door neighbor or somebody else to do something that you could have done? If that's the case, then you and I are on different teams, because I'm out in the field every single day. I'm up till hours of the morning trying to figure out what the game is, what they're trying to do next to try to manipulate the American people further, to try to destroy this country a little bit further, to try to ruin the future, or any possible future America could have. Like I said, you can see how the deep state is working and how they're doing this on a variety of different angles. This is not by accident that this is happening. But we are changing the game. MAGA is changing the game, and that is why you hear everything negative in the media about MAGA. They're calling MAGA a bunch of extremists, and that President Trump is a radical. I mean, this is what people do when they cannot defeat you on the issues, when they cannot defeat you on the reality at hand, when they cannot defeat you with moral compass. They can't win because it does not compute to most people who've been living life in the real world for any period of time. No, they're just blowing smoke up your dress and trying to sell you on bullshit. But America's not having it anymore. MAGA's not having it anymore, and MAGA is on the ascension. You are shitting your pants, deep state, and you should be. But bottom line, I think you and we need to get involved. We have to get involved. We have to start doing anything we possibly can. You have a talent to bring to this table, and that is what you need to do. Don't sit there on the sidelines anymore expecting somebody else to make it happen. It's not gonna happen. Things happen when you get involved, when you speak up, when you do things that other people are not willing to do. It's going to be one hell of a 2024, but we are going to stop this shit. I have dedicated every free moment of my life to making this country a better place, because I'm not going to allow some psychopaths or a group of psychopaths to dictate the reality I live in. Sorry, it's not going to happen anymore. The reason why this country is shit right now is because we've allowed this shit to happen. We have to own up to that. The way you change it is by getting involved. We, the American people, are the antidote to this chaos. I promise you, if you get involved, if you start informing yourself of the issues, if you start actually reading and diving into all of the crap the media has been trying to sell you for years, you will discover it's all bullshit, it's all nonsense. You're smarter than that. Don't allow them to treat you like this. Become a thinking person. Do not accept anything anybody says. Do your own due diligence and find out for yourself so that you can become a dangerous monster in the world. They fear you when you are an intelligent, astute, articulate, patriotic voter. They cannot win on the issues. I promise you, they cannot win. It's time we stand up, my friends. We got this. I will see you on the battlefield. Talk with you soon. Take care.